Okay, the last passage is choosing a dog. So we know that these are about corrections that she needs to make. And so when we're talking about corrections, we know that this means cups, because these are editing questions. So we're looking for capitalization, usage, punctuation, and spelling. Okay, so we always go to the questions first. What change needs to be made in sentence 4? So we're going to look at sentence 4. Insert a comma after room. Punctuation. Delete the word but. Change you to they. This is those that I was telling you about. These are pronouns. So we have to figure out, what is this pronoun representing? No change needs to be made. So let's go to sentence 4. Their new home had plenty of room and a large fenced yard, but they couldn't agree on what kind of dog you should adopt. Okay, so they're asking us about deleting the word but. They're asking us to insert a comma after room. And they're asking us about you. So when we go and read that, we're going to figure out what the answer is. The next one says, how should sentence 5 be changed? Insists to insisted. Today, this is present tense. Today, or I insist, and this is past tense because we have our ed. Hardly to insert hardly after wouldn't. Hardly wouldn't. I have to be careful for double negatives. This is two words that mean something negative. So I have hardly and would not. Change hair, H-A-I-R, to no hair. Or sentence 5 shouldn't be changed. So we're going to go back and highlight sentence 5. And that we're going to say, do we want to say hardly wouldn't leave no hair all over the house? And insisted. All right, next we're going to look at sentence 17. How should sentence 17 be changed? Insert a comma after shelter. So let's go back to sentence 17. This is punctuation. They were is for more than one. I was, this is for one. This is plural, singular. Available to available. This is spelling. All right. So let's look at sentence 17. It says, on Saturday, they decided to visit the shelter to see what kinds of dogs were available. Okay, insert a comma after shelter. On Saturday, they decided to visit the shelter, comma, to see what kinds of dogs were available. Change were to was, and then we're going to see if available is not spelled correctly. Okay? Now, let's go to number 26. What is the correct way to write sentences 20 and 21? This is where I'm going to check my patterns. And I'm going to look for some of those things right away that's about. Period which is going to be wrong. A comma and a pronoun, or a comma in this, a comma in that. that is going to be wrong. These are going to be run-on sentences. Okay, so, or a comma and a pronoun needs a white bus word at the beginning of the sentence. Okay, so let's look. Look, right here. Period, which. I'm going to go ahead and mark that one off. Comma, this. I'm going to go ahead and mark that off. So now I'm already giving myself a lot better chance at getting this one correct. Let's go ahead and go back and highlight sentence 20 and 21. It says, the dog jumped up to greet them. That sounds like a good sentence. The dog jumped up to greet them. Sending bits of fur into the air. What is sending bits of fur into the air? If we didn't have this here, sending bits of fur into the air, would we know what the subject is? Now, I'm going to go to number 27. What change should be made to sentence 28? Change spun, this is past, to spend. These are also past, but which one is correct? Insert a circles. So I'm going to go to sentence 28. It says, the people spun in circles and barked obnoxiously. So it's asking me if I want a comma here with this fanboy. So my pattern that I'm going to check is IC, comma, fanboys. I see. If I'm using a comma with a fanboy, I have to have two independent clauses on both sides. Okay? So next, this one is spelling. And then it has delete the quotation marks. So we know that quotation marks come in pairs. And we also know that they are only when someone is talking. They are opening their and words are coming out. So we need to be careful about those. Okay. How should sentence, and my for this is to circle all quotation marks. Because remember, the quotation marks can start in one line or one sentence and finish in another sentence. Number 28. How should sentence 34 be changed? Change led, this is past, to lead, this is present. Change more, quieter, to quieter. Now these are superlatives and comparatives. Remember, you never use more and ER. You choose one of the other. You choose one or the other. Never use more and ER, and never use most and EST. So I would never say I'm the most tallest. I would just say I'm the tallest. I would never say I'm the more quieter. I would just say I am quieter. Insert a comma after kennel. Let's look at this. This is sentence 34. Okay. She led the family to a more quieter section of the kennel and stopped in front of the cage. So again, look, a comma and a fanboy I have to check. I see comma, fanboys I see period. So I see comma, fanboys I see period. This one. Okay? 2 more. What is the correct way to write sentence 35? I'm going to highlight sentence 35. Resting on a blanket was a medium-sized dog. She had curly white hair, and floppy ears. Look, what's this? A pronoun in the middle of the sentence with no punctuation. Something is wrong with that sentence. Now, remember I told you that period which is never right without a question mark at the end over here. The same thing for period who is never right without a question mark. Okay? So, I can immediately eliminate this one. Now I'm going to have to go through and look at each one of these and see which one is the clearest and the simplest. Okay? Number 30, what change, if any, needs to be made to sentence 34? Delicate to delicately. This is spelling. Rised to rose. What is this? Is use correct past tense. And then change and to she. So let's look at that one. Sentence 44. Missy delicately rised from the blanket and walked to the cage door. So if we change and to she, what happens? Missy delicately rised from the blanket, she walked. There's no punctuation here, and it's a pronoun. I cannot have a pronoun in the middle of the sentence with no punctuation. So, now, what I want you to do is go through and read the passage, answer all the questions, and then we will go through and have our explanation video next.